Yo, what's good? What's good? Back with another Avenger stream. Cover up this. Let's hide in here. What's good? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a positive weekend. Um, didn't get great news, when I woke up this morning. About the one of the most popular Power Rangers, Jason David Frank. R.I.P. to him. But as always, we got to push forward and try to be as positive as possible. And I hope you guys are having a great weekend, bro. Like, weekends go by way too fast, especially when you're working. So I definitely hope you guys, got the most out of your weekends. And as always, we back again talking Avengers. News, rumors, all of that good stuff. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's see who's all here. We got Perfectionist, Sky Preacher Man. What's going on, Preach? We got Virgil, Jeremiah Clark, Danny Cartain, Danny, Adidas, Byron, Naruto. Hey, we got an anime legend in the chat. We got Naruto in the chat. We got Luke Brown, the bearded one, Darkest Vibes. Corey, what's good, Corey? Mipa, what's good? Jason, Abby, King Dominicano, I'm sorry. Dr. Shane, Calvin, and Bobby, what's good? Sam Burger with the cheese, what's good? Appreciate you guys coming through as always. And if you can, if you're just hopping in, make sure you slap a like on the stream. Definitely helps support the channel and helps YouTube push it out into the algorithm and all of that good stuff. But appreciate you guys being here as always. And as the thumbnail and title suggests, I think we've gotten to the point where it's kind of like time to put up or shut up when it comes to Captain Marvel and the Kree invasion specifically. And I think we all have very different perceptions or like visions of what the Kree invasion is going to look like in this game. And that's something I wanted to talk about as well. Appreciate that, Corey. And Zenitsu, appreciate you coming through. Like I said, I know a lot of people have talked about the Kree invasion and wanting that to be a thing and wanting that to be the next big content that comes to the game. I don't think that would be something we would get anytime soon, like not even within the first 6 months of next year. But I do think that has to be the big content for next year beyond Patrol Mode. Like, I'm pretty sure Patrol Mode is going to arrive ahead of the Kree invasion and Captain Marvel and all of that. But that has to be your big year-end content. And looking back on what we've gotten this year, and that's the reason I got the Bucky image on screen now, because as we all know, that's what's next. They're going to start doing their big promo push for that starting this week. So we're going to start seeing skins. We're going to see interviews and things like that, and then we're going to see a war table probably the day before the content drops. And I'm definitely appreciative of what we have right in front of us. I'm definitely looking forward to playing with Bucky, fully leveling him up, testing out his kit, seeing everything that he has to offer and everything like that, and hanging out with you guys, getting some runs in with Cloning Lab and all of that stuff. Like, I'm definitely grateful that we do have content on the way. But looking back at the year overall, if you weren't going to be able to really deliver on a lot of content this year specifically, that's been mostly dedicated towards doing reworks and updating heroes and everything. What's good, Alex, and everybody else who's just popping in? Again, thank you guys so much for coming through. I know it's Sunday. I intended to be live a lot earlier, but catching that news about Jason David Frank, that kind of sapped a lot of my mental energy, and it's like I spent the last few hours just kind of building that back up. But I definitely wanted to go live and talk with you guys today. So again, I appreciate everybody who came through. The Winter Soldier comes out next Tuesday, on the 29th, November 29th at 11 o'clock Central Time. So whatever time that balances out for your time zone, that's around the time he's going to drop. But yeah, looking at this year specifically, like we got the 2.3 rework that brought Nick Fury back to the helicarrier and kind of push the story back, or wait, let me rephrase that. He pushed his return pushed the Korean invasion back to the forefront of the story to a degree. So we still have AIM and Cloning Lab and Monica and MODOK and all of that stuff to deal with to close out the year. But going into next year, they've already kind of set the groundwork for the Korean invasion to be the primary threat going, that the Avengers are up against and preparing for and all of that stuff. So I'm expecting that to play a bigger role in the story once we conclude everything with AIM post Cloning Lab. What's good, Bucky Barnes? Appreciate you coming through. I would appreciate you a lot more if you go ahead and get in the game, but we'll see you on the 29th, I guess. But appreciate you coming through as always, bro. And with that, it's like I appreciate that they did that. I appreciate that they brought Nick Fury back. I wish he had a little more interaction on the helicarrier. Like once you do his mission chain, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't interact or anything like that. But I understand the point of bringing him back. As in addition to having him serve as the guide for onboard and new players, who just come into the game and everything. So it's like we got that, and then 2.4 we reworked the events, how events work. So they rotate every 2 weeks. You can now increase your power level using the gear from the event, so you can reach level 175 just by doing the events alone. If you're not interested in the multiplayer content, which is a good thing, and I think that's probably the best received thing they've done so far this year. Before we get to Bucky, like I think reworking the events was big because for so long that stuff was just a waste of time. Like nobody really does it, nobody pays attention to it. There's no excitement around it, and again, it's like it's a great way to level up some of your less popular heroes. So people you don't really play with all that often, and you don't want to do the full grind of getting them to 175. They provided a bit of a shortcut, so it's like I appreciate that. But again, that's not major content. You're doing something that needed to be done and course correcting, getting it to the standard that it should have been in from day one that they didn't have the vision and planning for. But ultimately, it's like that is a lackluster update. And then you get to the Jane Foster update where you're getting essentially a clone of Thor. She has a few new bells and whistles, but you're essentially getting another Thor. And it's like, if this is what we have to offer, I would have scrapped Jane Foster completely. Like if I know we only have enough resources to squeeze out 2 heroes for this year, I would scrap Jane Foster completely. Really, I would scrap all of this stuff. Honestly, I would scrap outside of the rework stuff. I would scrap Jane Foster. No Rest for the Wicked, the villain sector that we got, Cloning Lab, Winter Soldier. I would scrap all of that and push that stuff back into next year. And this year, since we're low on content that we're delivering, we're gonna go big with what we deliver. So we would have went all in on getting Captain Marvel out the door. So instead of Winter Soldier, and again, it's not that I'm not grateful for him. I'm just speaking from a optic standpoint. Like optically, this game doesn't have the best reputation already. What's good, Almighty? Appreciate you coming through, bro. This game doesn't have the best reputation already, so it's like my mindset would be anything that we do, I want it to land as hard as possible. Like I want this to be the biggest news we can possibly squeeze out for this game. What's good, Shaquez? And Captain Marvel would be bigger and better received than Bucky, Jane Foster, or any Cloning Lab, anything else that they have to offer for this year. So Captain Marvel and a raid would have been a lot more well received than what we're actually getting. And it's like, again, you brought Nick Fury back to hype this up. So that makes sense. I would leave that in. The rework and the onboarding process where Nick Fury is at the head of bringing on new players and getting them up to speed with what's going on post-campaign and all of that stuff, that's fine. That works. But because, again, we want a fast track to the Kree invasion. And again, Monica is supposed to kind of play a role in that. So it's like, it makes sense to kind of leave AIM on the sideline. So you can do the whole, oh, well, they're getting low on resources, which is why they haven't been doing anything major as of yet. And you can still, you know, drop hints that she's going to be reviving MODOK and all of that good stuff. That's cool. But I think the biggest focus should have been going towards this is our hero. So this is where quality over quantity goes. So it's like, yeah, we took a big step down in terms of number of heroes, but what we're actually delivering and who we deliver is pretty big. So this is a hero like who's going to play unlike anybody else in the game. She offers brand new combat, brand new animations, brand new mechanics, all of that good stuff. New status effects. You can do it all if you want to. And again, if we bring in a raid alongside of her, because again, I think everyone's vision for what the Korean invasion is going to look like is different. So some people see that as story content. So like an operation slash expansion style, new biome, new cutscenes, and all of that stuff, where they've kind of shown that they're shying away from doing that kind of content going forward. I honestly believe an expansion would be the best way to deliver a Korean invasion or that kind of content. And I also believe they should charge for that, you know, because I don't believe their business model is the best for a live service game. But as it is, it's like, yes, the best way to deliver that kind of experience and content to players would be in a year-long development cycle for story content that, you know, people will be looking forward to, because the War for Wakanda to this day is the best received content that they've dropped in the game. The raid has been plagued with nothing but negativity, bugs, criticism, and all of that, everything that surrounds that. But War for Wakanda, the only negative criticism that it really received was it didn't do much for the multiplayer side of things. So it's like, if you sell that, if you actually sell content like that, you can live with the multiplayer criticism. And you can also combat that at the same time by just making that content multiplayer. So you can play through the campaign or that new story content single player as most people want to, or you can engage with it with your friends. So up to 4 players can play through the story content with you. It's pretty straightforward, like similar to Gotham Knights, where another player can join your session, and when you go to cutscenes and everything, it's still your story. You know, you're the central focus of it, but they get to watch those cutscenes as well and all of that, and then you also have help, you know, going through the content. So it's like that seems simple on my end. I don't know how that breaks down on the development side, but I feel like that's the conversation that should have been had in regards to how do we bring Captain Marvel to the game. And a hero event for Captain Marvel and introducing new enemies in the Kree and all of that just doesn't seem like it's going to do it justice. And I know what people have in mind when they're hearing invasion is a lot bigger than a hero event and, you know, a mission chain and new enemies, you know, to engage with and all of that stuff. Not that people won't be happy about that, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of criticism about the scaling down of the new content that's coming in comparison to what we were getting last year. And again, it's like I know War Machine is on the rise because, you know, we know their financial situation. We know they're limited with resources, and, you know, a hero like War Machine kind of sounds reasonable right now because, hey, we can restructure some assets to kind of speed along his development cycle, and it's like that's cool. What's good, Avex? Appreciate everybody who's just popping in. Again, if you guys haven't already, drop a like on the stream. Definitely helps support the channel, and I appreciate it. And it's free. But yeah, it's like I said, I would take any hero they have to offer, you know. But I think outside of myself, I'm not, you know, just completely biased about what I want. I'm honestly thinking about what's best for the game. War Machine isn't best for the game unless you can deliver him like at least a month or two behind Bucky. That way, all right, we have more content coming. That's going to be the perception. So yes, he's going to be viewed as another Echo. You can, you know, showcase his gameplay to show that that's not exactly what's going to be the case. But the fact people are going to be happy about the fact that they got more content faster than what we were getting this year, because between November of last year and June of this year, that's how long it took to get an actual new character into the game. or new content of any kind, and that's not ideal for a live service game. So again, if you can roll out somebody like War Machine by March, that's fine, because you got Bucky at the end of November, and then by March, all right, we got another hero out, and hopefully we can have someone else in the pipeline that's coming not too long after that. So it's like there are pros and cons to War Machine, but again, he's not going to be as big or well received as Captain Marvel. So again, if Captain Marvel was all we could do this year, I think most people would have been okay with that, especially if you deliver her the right way. And I know She-Hulk is also in the mix, because people are like, okay, well, what happened to her? We heard rumors about her. We found out who her voice actress was. What happened? She had a show, came out, everything seemed perfect to drop her into the game, and then all of a sudden we're hearing Winter Soldier. And again, I don't think she's completely shelved or put on the back burner or anything like that. I think they're still planning to bring her at some point. We have no idea what their internal timetable is for that. But again, it's like we can live with pushing her back again, especially if you can only do so much for the year. Like if you can only get one hero for next year, either do Captain Marvel, which makes the most sense because you've been teasing that, or you go big and just go in a completely different direction and go ahead and give people Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch or somebody. Those are your two. You get what I'm saying? Like those are your two options. Like you have to go big. You can't keep the decisions that they've made is kind of helping add fuel to the fire of the game is dying argument that you hear every other day, every other week. No matter what happens, somebody finds a new way to spin the game is dying argument. Oh, I heard this, or it looks like this, or that this is happening. So, or they only doing this, so this means the game is dying and stuff like that. You're not really instilling confidence with any of these moves that they're making. Is ultimately what I'm saying. And again, if you can only do so much, just go big. Captain Marvel is bigger than Winter Soldier. Captain Marvel is bigger than Jane Foster. She's bigger than War Machine. She's bigger than She-Hulk. She's bigger than all four of them combined. So again, it's quality over quantity at this point. So it's like if we can only do so much, I want to make sure what we're doing is the biggest thing possible. And I know Join in Progress and Patrol Mode is coming, but it's like, how soon is that coming? There is no real timeline on that. We don't have a roadmap to go by anymore or anything like that. And once Bucky comes, you know that the next conversation behind it, like the day that he actually drops, people are going to play with him. People are going to be like, oh, he's either great or he sucks. They're going to talk about cloning ladder and like, hey, it was fun for 5 minutes, but it sucks, or it has bugs, so it sucks. And once that conversation runs its course after a day or two, the next conversation is, all right, what's coming next? So going into this year in 2022, what's good, Eastwood? Appreciate you coming through. A lot of people expected them to hit the ground running. So we were expecting news around, early January, mid-January. We were expecting a new roadmap. We were expecting a lot of things. And then that panned out into radio silence, and then underwhelming news of, oh, we're not doing roadmaps anymore. And then rework, clone, underwhelming villain sector, and then Winter Soldier, cloning lab. And it's like, that's none of that is like amazing content. It's like, I appreciate it. I appreciate the rework side. Like I said, I'm trying to judge them fairly because the work that they've done this year was needed, and kind of capitalizing on the hype around Love and Thunder with Jane Foster being in there by being able to deliver Jane Foster in your game is like, I get it, but at the same time it's like, was it worth it? Was that little bit of hype worth it in the long run when you could have possibly did something better? So I would say delivering She-Hulk ahead of her show would have probably landed a lot bigger and better than Jane Foster ahead of her role in Love and Thunder, especially with her being essentially another Thor. But again, that's mostly my opinion. I'm thinking of it, mostly from a marketing standpoint, just like what can we capitalize on the most from a marketing standpoint. And again, if we only can do two heroes, it would have been She-Hulk and Captain Marvel to close out the year, because that's our big end of the year content. I give them credit for having the sense to put Bucky, alongside a cloning lab just to make it seem like you have a lot more going on than what you necessarily do. But it's like, again, Captain Marvel just would have hit bigger than all of that. And then you go beyond that, and it's like you got a new villain you can bring with her. Ronan the Destroyer, the Kree Sentry. You have a lot. You got a lot of potential, and you don't have to deliver all of that at once. Like we've been playing around with the AIM storyline for 2 years at this point. You can stretch out the Kree invasion for a bit. Not don't go crazy and drag it out for years like you did with AIM, but you don't have to deliver everything at once. It's an invasion. You get what I'm saying? So hey, maybe you get a Kree Sentry raid, to start the raid, and then all right, well, now that you've shown that you can defend yourself, we're gonna come in force. So that next level of the raid or the next level of the invasion is coming, mid to late next year or something like that. That's it's things like that you can do. And again, it's a lot of people who want more bosses and bigger, more iconic bosses that the Avengers have been known to go head to head with. And fighting MODOK again is like it's good for this game because that's something that we should have had, year one after not after Clone Lab, after the campaign. That fighting MODOK again should have been something that was already on the table. And Brian, he admitted that that's not something they considered. It would take development and planning to design him to fight against 4 players versus the 1-player campaign interaction and everything. And it's like when you hear that, it's like, how did you not think of this? Going into the end game, like this is a live service game. This is a game that's supposed to deliver content consistently, and it's like, re-offering boss fights seem like a no-brainer. The same with Crossbones. It's like they didn't consider that, hey, we should offer this as a villain sector. No one did that, and it's like, this is why you're wondering where's Crossbones. Hopefully he shows up, in future content. But at the same time, at this point, because it's been so long, that's going to be just dismissed as them being lazy. So it's like, oh, you guys are just, reusing content. There's nothing new. There is no genuinely new designs and content coming into this game because we're just reusing assets at this point. And it's like, it's fair criticism, but at the same time, it's like, I know why you're doing it. You just should have did it at a better time ultimately. But another person you can bring, that was rumored, but we're not. I'm not under the impression that he's going to be involved with her story very much at all, and that's the original Marvel, or the original Captain Marvel. What's good, Fetty? How you been, man? Hope everything's been good with you. Hope you're having a good weekend. But yeah, it's like, people want more heroes, people want more villains and things like that. And you can tease things and set these things up, but you have to be prepared to pay that stuff off. Like, you have to have a vision and a plan to pay that stuff off. Teases are cool, but again, it's like we got teases in Marvel Spider-Man. And it's like, that's cool, but it's like, you really would prefer to actually see some of the things you're teasing in this game. So actually being able to see the Avengers in Spider-Man's game or see Daredevil or people like that, that would be bigger and better than just, oh, well, here's a window sticker with the Avengers, or hey, they said something about Daredevil on the radio. It's like, yeah, actually pay it off. And this is a game that has the opportunity to do those things. And it's like, in the first year, in the game's first year, we were so excited about a lot of the stuff they were teasing, and it's like, bro, but to find out they didn't really have a vision or a plan for that. They just did that, like, oh, that'll be cool. People will think that's cool, but we're taking that serious. So when we see, Loki in Thor's iconic mission, we're like, okay, well, they're teasing Loki. He's coming at some point, and they're like, oh, well, we just thought that would be cool, and it's like, what's the logic going on over there? Like, what are we thinking? But it's like, yeah, you can set up the scroll. You can expand your universe just by adding Captain Marvel. She's been out in the universe for a few years. She can bring in a lot. She can bring in a lot that this game actually needs in terms of just bigger storytelling, bigger stakes and everything. Because it's like at this point, aim should not still be the problem, bro. Like even with the campaign, like you're attacking the government on live TV. Is like there's no way you're still a federally funded organization at this point. Like you should have been shut down by the government a long time ago. The Avengers should have been commissioned to bring you down a long time ago. So at this point, 2 years later, the Avengers are still basically fugitives, and AIM is still the status quo. Is like this makes no sense, and it's like it's just bad storytelling. And for a game that's so focused on narrative, that's bizarre. Do we know who the next rumor hero is? Rumor wise, you got to toss up between these two. So you got War Machine because allegedly he'll be less challenging to the development team who's struggling with limited resources, and then you got She-Hulk because she on paper has the most work done behind the scenes in terms of like voice dialogue already being recorded and some design work. I do definitely think patrol mode, traversal, and joining progress will help the game going forward. Yeah, like communication again, it's like I get it. They want to talk about what they can when they can and all of that, but some stuff I feel like you can communicate. Like Brian, he talked about the traversal update on his own Twitter. With no one asked about that. No one went to him specifically and asked about that. You volunteered that information, so it's like volunteer more information. Like what's happening with that? You've said nothing since saying that. There's no update. You don't mention it in the blog. What's going on with it? What are you even thinking in terms of traversal? Like what kind of changes are you making? Like make that a conversation. What happened to the developer streams? It just seems like no one wants to do those things, and it's like that's unfortunate with a game where again you have so many people still holding on to this game, hoping that things turn around for the game long term because they want to believe in it. They want to believe in the project. They want to believe in the team behind the game. They're constantly giving you chances. There are people who are like going to bat for this game on the internet every day on Reddit, on Discord, on Twitter, Facebook. They're fighting for their life all over the place just because they want the game to be good. They want the game to continue to get a chance and opportunity to turn things around like you've seen for other games, and they just don't seem to have the desire to really do so. It's like the whole team is just jaded. Not the whole team, because there are some people who are very pleasant, very very passionate about the game in general, but it's like talking to you would be the least. That's the least I can do. So I'm at work. I'm a developer, but hey, I'm on Twitter anyway. Hey guys, this is here's 15 minutes. Ask me anything. You get what I'm saying, and I'll answer what I can. If you asking about Doctor Strange, hey bro, I can't talk about Doctor Strange. We haven't said anything official about Doctor Strange, but we know you want Doctor Strange. I want Doctor Strange. Hopefully we can figure out something to deliver on that. That's how I would answer that question. And in terms of traversal and stuff like that, well, hey, we're looking at some different things. We're aiming to have it in this update. So here's an update on the traversal, patch. We're targeting this because you said you were trying to do it before 2.7, and then we've heard crickets on that. And then it's like, what's going on from there? And it's like, people aren't asking for much when they're asking you to be, a little clearer in your messaging with stuff like that. Because it's like, again, you volunteer that information, and then when people come back and ask for an update, you can't be like, oh, well, hey, guys, I'm not an official source. Bro, you kind of are at this point. Like, you literally are. It's like, you just got to be reasonable with it. But to answer your question, bro, like, yeah, She-Hulk and War Machine are who are rumored. And again, take rumors with a grain of salt because, you don't know anything with this game until you know for sure, until like it's definitive. So the closest you can get to insight into what's coming next unofficially is Miller making a definitive post on Twitter or on a podcast or something saying, hey, this is the next person. When he's close to 90-something% on that being a thing and they can't pivot away from it, that's when he'll come out definitively and say this is who's coming next, as you saw with his prediction about the Winter Soldier. And he's not just guessing, he's in tune with people behind the scenes. He's talking to former developers, he's talking to inside sources and things like that. And he's he's very thorough with what he does. He's very conscious about what he does say and what he doesn't say and everything like that. And it's like I know there are a lot of people with mixed feelings about him, but it's like he's cool. It's like he's a genuinely cool dude. And again, I appreciate his approach to how he delivers the news that he does choose to share. Like there's a ton of things that he can talk about that he doesn't for integrity reasons. Like he doesn't want to paint them in a overly negative light, even though they've attacked him several times. They've attacked his credibility and things like that. He's continued to be very fair and reasonable with them, despite all of that. And it's like I respect that. But again, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, the scroll, you got the Kree coming, you got the scroll coming. It's like this is an Avengers game, bro. Like, go big or go home. Especially with the life support comments every other day. It's like that gets old, bro. Give your fans on the front line some ammo, I guess. What's good, Q Mr. Rage? How you doing, bro? Hope you're having a good weekend. And again, anybody who just popped in, if you can slap a like on the stream, it definitely helps support the channel. But Wasteland Patrol, that's supposed to be the big content coming next year. That's what's supposed to be coming in once we get to 3.0. So once we get to patch 3.0, allegedly this is what they're aiming to bring to the table on patrol mode. I don't know if they're still looking at making the Wasteland the patrol. I guess the logic behind it is the Wasteland is probably the biggest area in the game, like from just a space standpoint. So it's like I get it. It's not the most appealing location and it's not the most visually interesting. Like when you think of patrol, you want to patrol like a city area. So I would even accept like a Utah patrol. Like they got a little small town war zone stages and things like that. So it's like something like that would be fine. That would probably go over a little better. But I guess because it's going to be 4 players and it's I don't know what all they're planning to do with it, but I guess the Wasteland was the go-to because of the space that it offered. And again, that's fine. And it's like I have been hearing encouraging things about it, but at this stage in the game's life, I don't know. Okay, so I'll say this. Based on what I'm hearing, because the game is becoming more multiplayer focused, where patrol mode would have had the potential to kind of uplift the game and really expand the player base. At this point, because they're no longer doing operations and expansion content, I think patrol mode could potentially, drive like a nail in the coffin, essentially, because it's like there are so many people complaining about multiplayer content. Like people are pissed that the Cloning Lab story content is locked behind multiplayer. Like people don't want to play multiplayer, and in their defense, multiplayer is the most unstable part of the game. So it's like you run into most of the bugs and crashes when you're playing multiplayer. They're improving. It's gotten better, but a lot of the same old problems are still prevalent. And again, it's like I understand people who are just like averse to that. They like, hey, I want to play by myself. I don't really want to run around with other people. I don't, people get yelled at because, your build may not be performing up to task and you're taking it out on other people. And again, if you just got off work, you don't really want to do all that. You play the game to de-stress, not accumulate stress. So it's like, I get it. And again, it's like dropping patrol mode into the game where you should be expanding your player base. This could push a lot of people over the edge, like all the way away. Like they're gone. Like they're done. Like, all right, this is clearly just going to be multiplayer stuff, so I'm done. I'm hoping that's not the case, but it depends on what they have to offer, what they're showcasing. What's good, Jazzy Butters? I don't know. I don't know. It's like, again, I appreciate what they've said about patrol mode in terms of they're not looking to rehash villain content to a degree, Brian came out and said they're not looking to have Maestro and like Taskmaster be bosses that are roaming around the patrol mode. They want to introduce new bosses, and that's great. That's a great mindset to have going into new content, because again, when you hear new in this game, you gotta put up the air quotes, because it's like, is it really new? What does new mean for this game and things like that. So it's like, I get it, but it's like, where does Ultron fit into this? You get what I'm saying? Like, how does he fit into things? The rumors about him being worked on have been floating around and circulating for as long as the game has been around. And Miller actually added a little more fuel to it earlier this year, when he was saying he is seeing updates to the work that was done on Ultron behind the scenes. So it's like he's coming at some point. And again, is this somebody you can see around in the wasteland? So it's like, we haven't seen any evidence of Ultron outside of the royalties, but it would stand to reason that he would be a part of the Wasteland Patrol if he's around in the future. So it's like, I can very, very much see Ultron being a thing in the future that, I guess somehow went under the radar, I guess, or he took advantage of the situation with the Kree invasion and all of that stuff. It's like, there's wiggle room there, but it's like, again, just like with Captain Marvel, it's like, go ahead and get him in the game. Like, just give the content, bro. like just get some content out the door is ultimately what I'm saying. You've been teasing Loki. We just got a Loki tease with the Jane Foster trailer again, and it's like, it's time to deliver on that. Like, bro, you gotta bring us something with that. And it's like, going into year 3 is like, it doesn't seem like we're as rearing to go as we would have wanted to be, I guess. The excitement for what's expected, it just doesn't seem to be there for a lot of people in the way that it was coming into this year. And I think that's because of now going into next year, people are going to expect you to do a radio silence break. So we're not going to hear anything. You're going to be promoting skins like crazy, but you're not really going to be saying anything meaningful. They've already talked about patch 2.8 and how that's going to be more rework for heroes and things like that. They didn't go into specifics, but it's not going to be new content. It's not going to be new hero content or anything like that. So you don't know how long you're going to go before you get that kind of update. And again, like, we made it all the way to June or the end of June before we actually got a new hero. So it's like, do you want to do that again? Because I've consistently said, like, while I appreciate the changes that they made this year, you can't do that again next year. Like, the goodwill and the patience, you pretty much burnt all of that out this year, along with the choices that you made. And again, it's like, adding somebody like Loki is like, that would be big for this game, bro. Like, that would bring in a lot of people, but it's how you do it. It's how you do that as well. And it's like, they have to find a better middle ground between story content, multiplayer content, and that's going to be key for this game going forward, outside of ultimately having to go free to play. Like, I think if this game is really going to have a life, beyond 2023, it's like, they have to go free to play, because like I said, this business model just doesn't seem sustainable, like, at all. Like, I'm amazed that they've managed to squeeze 2 years of development out of that by just selling skins and marketplace items. But going forward, is I don't know, and I don't know if we get here if they don't have the Game Pass move in their pocket, and they don't have the PlayStation tiers move in their pocket. So they have free to play elements in the game, but at the same time, it's like, I think you're going to have to go all in on free to play and just sell the content that you have. And again, the story content is the most well received stuff that the game has to offer. So people will pay for that. People will, and it's like, just do a dedicated season pass. So this is what's coming in this season. You got new heroes, new villains, new content, and new story. And it's like, all right, that's the year. So instead of doing multiple hero operations, do one big operation at the end of the year. So you got War for Wakanda, do the Kree invasion at the like towards the end of the year, and then just drop heroes, villains, and villain sectors or OLTs and all of that stuff in between to kind of spread out the year. They also need to look at doing more events, like new events. Like, we got the rework in, so you got a better model for how you structured your events. Now we kind of need to do something new. So, like a Loki event, the Asgard event or something like that. Loki is opening portals to other realms and things like that. Something like that, bro. Just anything new is where the focus should be. Is ultimately what I'm saying. Crossbones, get that guy in the mix. Like, I don't know if he's showing up in the Wasteland Patrol. I would think it would make sense. We haven't fought him anywhere else since Wakanda, and it's like having Crossbones and a couple of mercenaries popping up in a patrol. That just seems to make sense on paper. But I also want to see other villains. So it's like Crimson Dynamo. Bring in more villains, that the Avengers have gone head to head with. What's up, Cecilia? I'm good. Like I said, just hanging out with you guys, talking Avengers as usual. I haven't put a time on how long we're gonna stream, but after this, I'll probably switch over. If you guys are looking to do raids or OLTs and all of that stuff, if you're already in the Discord, we'll probably hang out in the voice chat and run some raids and OLTs and all of that stuff. So, but yeah, the Crimson Dynamo. It's like a perfect boss for this game. You can easily reuse the assets you have in the game. You can take elements of Hulkbuster. You can take elements of Black Widow. Whatever you need, bro. The Adaptoids, the aimbots, whatever you need, put it in this, man, and just throw them in the game and give us something new to fight with, new mechanics and all of that stuff. Crimson Dynamo trying to steal something in the patrol mode, like he's breaking into a bank or something like that, is like, just push go on that. And it's like, it appears that they have hired a new boss and enemy designer as well as a level designer. So hopefully we can start to see stuff get fast tracked a little better. But, it's like, we have to do better, bro. Like, we have to do something new. Like, we have to. And it's like, rehashing the AIM storyline with, Monica and the cloning lab and MODOK and all of this stuff. And now Monica is tied to Bucky's story and she's tied to everybody's story. Is like, that is getting old, bro. Like, it's not even creative at this point. Like, you're not even doing something creative by weaving all of these stories together or weaving every hero's introduction into AIM somehow, because that seems like the easiest thing to do. And it's like, new hero, new story, new villain, and the world is bigger than AIM. Like, that, the AIM has a gridlock on this world. Like, they literally have everything on lock, and it's like, bro, they don't have to do that, have their hands in everything. Like Claw invading Wakanda is like, he could have just did that on his own. We didn't need ties back to AIM, but you have to justify why AIM bots are running around Wakanda again. You could have just used mercenaries. You can repurpose the mercenaries that you have for Taskmaster that you saw during A-Day. Just repurpose those. Claw's a mercenary. It's pretty straightforward. It's like, we don't have to fight robots and AIM at every turn. Every single hero doesn't have to fight them. When Spider-Man came to the game, the Spider Slayer, like, you literally have spider bots in the game. Just upgrade them a little bit, add in a few new mechanics to them, and go from there. It's like, Spider-Man should have had a spider boss. Like, okay, you're not doing somebody like Green Goblin or Dr. Octopus or somebody like that. A Spider Slayer bot, that would have been perfect. That literally would have been perfect for this game. And you have the excuse to use AIM. So, hey, AIM is funding this research and technology. And, this guy is expanding, the weaponry on the Spider Slayer to be able to combat the Avengers and everything. Cool. It's like, I understand we're trying to cut corners to a degree, but it's like, at the same time, it's not benefiting the players long term, because we're not getting anything faster. Like, Bucky didn't come out faster behind, Jane Foster. He didn't come out a month or two behind Jane Foster. He came out, he's not even out yet as I'm saying this, but, we got her in June, you got July, August, September, October, you get what I'm saying? It's like, and now you got November. So it's like, you're still dealing with basically 5 to 6 month wait time between hero drops and stuff like that. And it's like, I thought the idea of moving away from story content would be to fast track heroes in, so they're no longer tied to operations and stuff, which take longer development time and all of that stuff. So, oh, we're just working on the hero, we're just dropping them into the story. All right, why does that take so long still? It's like, if you're cutting corners, you're supposed to be getting to the goal faster, and it doesn't seem to be the case. So it's like, we just got Jane Foster. She didn't come with anything new. She didn't offer any new villains or biomes or anything like that. She came with a motion comic trailer, a couple of skins, and herself, and that's all we got. And that took, they started work on her in December, and you didn't get her until June. So it's like, what's going on? At what point does this become faster? Is ultimately what I'm saying, because it's like, man, it's not doing what you're saying it's supposed to do, and it's like, that's unfortunate. And again, if that's what you can do, if that's the best you can do, just put that time and energy towards content that actually matters. So just scrap, instead of wasting those months working on Jane Foster, you could have been working on Captain Marvel, Kree enemies, a Kree Sentry boss fight, maybe Ronin. You get what I'm saying? Like, something that's meaningful, working on meaningful content. Why that's not a thing, I don't know. And it's like the mission during the campaign where you play as Iron Man, but you're Kamala, like when you go into the harm room, and Jarvis sets it up where Kamala is playing in the Iron Man armor. You can do stuff like that for new heroes before they come to the game. So you get early access to the hero. You can try out some of that kit in the harm room ahead of their release. And it's like, simple stuff like that people would pay for. You know what I'm saying? You got to create a program, and they don't even get early access to this stuff. I can care less about getting access to a skin every week. Give me Bucky a week or two in advance, bro. Let me get, like, people are playing Midnight Suns now. People played God of War before it came out. People played Gotham Knights before it came out. That's the benefit of having creative access to this content before everybody else does. You can showcase this. You can give a review. You can do all of these things, and it's like, if that's not what I'm getting out of this, what does that serve me? It's like the skins is like, okay, you showing it off a day before, but you can easily just retweet or repost those videos and get the same access. So it's like, there's no real benefit there. So it's like, I just want the game to do better. I want people behind the game to actually think about ways to be more creative and innovative with what you have. I understand having limited resources. I understand having red tape to go through to get out information and things like that. But when we had Andy working on the project as the community manager, you were seeing a lot more. You were getting a lot more done, and it just seems like we've had a major drop off in terms of just what's being delivered consistently, what's being promoted, what's being communicated. And even then, even with him on board, it wasn't perfect. Like, they still had communication droughts and everything like that. And it's another thing I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys are ready for that. Like, after we get Winter Soldier, you're not going to hear anything for them for a while. Like, that communication drought is coming. The blackout, the radio silence, that's coming. And the narrative of, oh, well, Bucky is going to be the last content, that's going to pick up steam. That's definitely going to start gaining traction once his content is out, and the hype wears off, which the hype is going to wear off extra fast because that's the only content you got out of a year. So it's like, just do more to combat that by just being consistent. What's up, Xerix? They could use the cloning lab experiments to make creatures, monsters, something big and gross. That's the Avengers have to fight or contain from getting out. Yeah, 100%. And I'm hoping that the cloning lab still has some elements of actual multiple bosses. So in the original vision for Clone Lab, you were supposed to fight up to 4 abominations, I believe. And I know MODOK is the big boss of Cloning Lab, but it's like it's Cloning Lab, so it's like you gotta offer clones in some capacity. So I would think, Taskmaster in an abomination combo or multiple abominations or however they want to break it down, that should still be a factor there. Just as like in the original OLT, you have to fight the Warbot as the mini boss. I would think a couple abominations or abomination and Taskmaster or somebody would be the mini boss for Cloning Lab. I think one of the issues is we want so much information every step of the way, and if we don't, the community gets upset. As a community, people don't have patience. So if with any other game, that would be fair. That would be a fair assessment. With this game specifically, it's like, nah, they do the community dirty a lot when it comes to communication. Like, I get it. Again, I get you want to communicate meaningful, information when there's something to say. And when people say, more communication, they're not talking about daily updates or, daily tweets saying, hey guys, we're still working on it. Hey guys, we're still working on it. That's not what we're talking about. But you go months without saying anything of meaning. So it's like they announced Jane Foster in April. They announced her in April, but they didn't start promoting her or talking about her until June, like a week before she came. So it's like, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. So it's like, and I did a video showing how their marketing has declined between this year and last year. Last year, you got a teaser trailer for Black Panther and War for Wakanda in March. So in March of last year, you saw what Black Panther looks like in game. You saw what Wakanda was going to look like, and this was all the way back in March. And that content didn't drop until August. You saw a teaser trailer of Hawkeye before the game even released. So back in September, you saw Hawkeye. And that's the kind of communication I'm talking about. So it's like they didn't tell us, all during September, November, and all of that stuff of what's going on with Hawkeye. No. They already teased him. You know that he's coming at some point. You get what I'm saying? You know what he looks like in the game and everything. You know that Black Panther was coming. They gave you a roadmap. So it's like, that's the communication we were talking about. Now, you've taken away the roadmap communication. So from there, it's like, what do we do? How does communication look? All right, we'll say what we're working on, and we'll give a tease about what's coming beyond that. And then we'll go radio silent until the week before when it's actually time to drop this, which is months out. So you announced Bucky back in August, and you just started talking about him last week of November. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's not great communication by any stretch of the imagination. And to tell people to be patient who've sat with this game from day one and haven't gotten much to show for it this year specifically, it's like that. That just doesn't sit right to be like, hey, well, you got to be patient or be patient. That's all people have is patience. Like that's all they got left. It's like, I'm just saying, value the people who are sticking with you, because they're not the ones who are fickle and switching up on you every other day. There are people who uninstall this game. They haven't played it in months, but they just stick around to be negative about the game. I'm not talking about those kind of people. I'm talking about the people who are actively playing your game and are mostly positive about your game, and just want communication about what's going on, what's coming next, because it's a live service game. You don't get the same privileges of a Spider-Man game or Guardians of the Galaxy. What's good, DJ? What's good, Sadat? Appreciate you coming through. You don't get those same privileges when you're a live service game. So Spider-Man dropping new content post-release, that's just added cherries on top, because the game was the game. They didn't promise you anything beyond that, but to still deliver content, to still deliver skins and things like that, that's all a bonus. But with Avengers, you're expected to do this stuff, and not only are you expected to do it, you're expected to promote that and communicate that more is coming, what's coming, when it's coming, why it's coming. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a higher level of standard that you have to hold yourself to, and that players are going to hold you to because of the kind of game you are. What's good? One shot, one kill. Appreciate you coming through. I'll never get free skins if I keep talking like this. I'm not in it for free skins. And again, it's like the program would need a massive overhaul, to really be worthy of, being included in that. I feel bad for the people who feel, slighted by not being in that program, because it's like, you honestly are not meant to die. We know, bro. we know what's up, and it's like it is what it is. The day, I keep going, I keep it moving. Like I said, when I first started my channel, I didn't know what that program was. I didn't even know it was a thing. I wasn't, concerned with it, and that's, I'm still not concerned with it. If they bring me in, that would have been cool. But, as it is, it's like, it is what it is. And again, I have full knowledge that I'm not really missing out on anything. So, I can, get earlier access to, a news drop. But when that news drops, I can just go live or make a video, and I, get the same, success. So it's like, it doesn't matter. But again, it's like, communication is key, especially when you have long stretches where you can't deliver content consistently. Like, communication is what's going to carry your community through those times. And it's like, you should have fun communicating with the community. When the community turns on you, it's like, that's you got to see what you're doing wrong to warrant that. People being negative, I get it, but it's like, you shouldn't have to be overly positive to get interaction from a gaming community that's based around wanting players to engage with it. So it's like, I shouldn't have to say only positive things about this to be acknowledged about what's going on with the game. I'm not only positive, I'm fair with it though. I'm objective. So it's like, if you're doing something wrong, like the whole consumables debacle, that was wrong, that was short-sighted, and you tried to play it off like that was a coincidence or anything like that. And it's like, no, people were calling out your moves before you got there. And it's like, own that, step up on it, and be fine. I volunteer to be the new community manager. My required salary is $500 per hour. Nah, not for this game. Not for this game. They'll give you free skins. You could do that. So you get early access to the skins, and you can schedule them. That would be your fee. That's your pay rate. They said they would be working on communication more for this year, but that didn't work. They say a lot of things. What's good, Blue Lion? Like I say, I can say a lot of things. Anybody can say a lot of things. Talk is cheap, and apparently it's not that cheap, because they barely do it over there. And it's like, you can just tell this. Whoever is in charge of that now that Andy is gone, they just really don't. They don't hold interacting with the community in high regard. And the developers, again, it's like, they don't seem as keen about doing live streams or developer Q&As and things like that. Like, they haven't been in the Discord since June. Like, the official Discord, they haven't been in there actually communicating with people since about June. And it's like, that's unfortunate. They'll communicate on Reddit for some reason, and they communicate on their Twitter. But it's like, you have all of these socials, you have, a Twitch channel and everything like that. It's like, that's just like taking a little bit of time out of your day. You can rotate the development staff. Like, I wish we got to see AJ a lot more. I wish we got to see Alex a lot more. We don't, for whatever reason. But yeah, those are two developers I wish you guys actually got to see and interact with a lot more than what we do. What's good, Craig? It's as good as it can be, Craig. Like I said, I popped up to the news about Jason, David, Frank, and that kind of brought my day down a bit, But, we pushing for it. Appreciate you coming through. I'd rather they just scrap the game now than having to wait every 6 months just to get a little to no content. So what I always try to put in perspective for people who like, hey, just shut the game down and maybe we'll get something new in a couple months, or Avengers 2. You won't see this kind of game for a long time. Like, this game is going to have far-reaching ramifications well beyond, Marvel's Avengers, long after it's gone and all of that stuff. And it's like, it's just because of how it was handled. And again, it's like, you have to have planning. What's the news? No news. Like I said, this is pretty much just chatting. I'm ultimately just saying, I appreciate the Bucky content, but she should have came this year. Like, with what we were able to get this year in terms of new content. So you got Jane Foster, you got Winter Soldier. They would have been better served just bringing Captain Marvel to the game. So I get it. You got a small team, you got limited resources and stuff like that. You got to make it count. You got to make what you got count. So it's like, you know, figure out your budget, plan your budget around that, and go from there. So it's like we want to deliver because if you do this correctly, that opens up your future. That instills belief in what you're capable of as a team. That instills belief in what this game can be and what it can do and what people want to see going forward. So people will want to see more post Captain Marvel versus once Winter Soldier drop. There's going to be nothing but question marks of, is this the last content? Is this game dying? Is this this? Is this? Where if you drop Captain Marvel, a lot of people might actually be okay with you dying after that. Like, hey, well, you know, we got Captain Marvel. That was a dope Kree invasion. I can replay it. All of that good stuff. Oh, they died. Well, you know, that's the gaming industry, I guess. But it won't end with just like a complete sour taste in their mouth. And it's like the game dying narrative is like that's just not going away. And it's like I feel bad for the people that really stress about that. But it's like it is what it is. Casual, do you think that that next year will be better for the game? Like they have been working on certain content for months. I don't know what to expect from this game next year because, like I said, realistically, I think, and it may be an issue of them simply not being able to do so. I think the hero that's coming after Winter Soldier should already be in development, and I don't think they are. That's honesty. Like, I just don't think they've already started working on what's next. You probably talked about who's next. You probably talked about, you know, what you want to do with who's next. But as far as actual design work, actual development, actual, like, we're in the process. We're doing motion capture and all of this stuff. I don't think any of that stuff is being done on whoever is coming next, which means you're not going to see them probably until about June if we can creak along to that far. And it's like, that's not great. That's not, you know, that's unfortunate ultimately. It's like, because again, it's like you can't keep doing this. You can't keep going such long stretches of just no content. And it's like you keep saying you want to do better, and they said they learned things from developing Jane Foster that would allow them to deliver content faster and things like that. But again, it's like you got more games coming out. So Gotham Knights, they're dropping content the day that your game drops more content. You got Midnight Suns right around the corner. You got games coming left and right. You got Hogwarts coming out. That's definitely going to snatch some people. You got people waiting on Spider-Man 2. You got people waiting on Suicide Squad. You're burning yourself out, and you're burning your player base, the people who would stick with you. What if they hold off on characters and put out different game modes? I wish they would. I wish they can find some time to rework some of their game modes, because a lot of the war zones are not rewarding and they are not very fun to play. Like the Hive missions, just take out the puzzle mechanics and the standing on platforms and just flood that with villains and enemies and bosses and all of that stuff. Like what it sounds like the heroic assault for Gotham Knights is going to be, that should have already been in Avengers. That should have been the last Avengers standing Hive and all of that stuff. Like when you hear a Hive, all right, we're going, you know, level by level, and we should be fighting, you know, through here, just blowing through content. And, you know, we slow that down, you know, by just forcing you to stand on platforms and forcing you to you know, just do different little nonsensical tasks. And it's like, just people just want to fight. People just want to fight enemies, bro. Like I told you, like I used to play the harm room, the custom harm room. I'll just turn on some music and just vibe in there. I'm not getting XP. I'm not getting gear. I just want to fight. Sometimes I just turn the game on. I just feel like fighting with, you know, different characters. So I'll time myself. I'll see how fast I can blow through the harm room or whatever. But something like that is the experience they need to kind of find a way to make rewarding. So it's like, I don't want to stand on platforms. I don't want to, you know, do the same things I do in every Warzone. It's like that's not great variety. And again, it's like people want to be challenged in that regard, and it's like I get it. You got problems with the networking and stuff like that. So it's like I just don't know. Do you think patrol mode will have a big positive impact for the game? I honestly I don't know, because a lot of people seem to be averse to the idea of the game more going more multiplayer focused. So it's like I genuinely don't know what's going on. 2.8 and 2.9 non-content update slash nerfs, 3.0 patrol mode, enjoying in progress, 3.2 Captain Marvel game dies. That go your roadmap, ladies and gentlemen. Sadat the Gamer. He has the roadmap, the internal roadmap. He keeps it under his do-rag, so I believe what he just said 100%. But, in all seriousness, again, it's like that very well could play out. So 2.8 and 2.9 could be reworked, and 3.0 could be the big patrol mode that they've been working on. And again, I really hope that lands, because that's what they chose to go all in on. That's what they put their eggs in that bucket, and I'm really hoping that lands for them, because again, like, at this point, you can't even tell the difference between a conversation with people who hate the game and a conversation with people who love the game, because most of it ends with people dumping on the game. What's good, Lejeune? How you doing, bro? I've been catching the Warzone streams. I'm thinking about grabbing it. I haven't played Warzone in a while, but Warzone 2 does look interesting. But again, Lejeune, for those of you who aren't familiar with him, he's an insider, and that man playing Call of Duty. Your inside creators are moving on from your game, and it's like that's not a good look. It just says it isn't a good look, and it's like I'm really hoping they can turn stuff like that around, and I really want them to have a desire to turn that stuff around. But it's like the attitude I'm seeing, from the team, in regards to interacting with the community, in regards to some of the decisions they make, and when they receive criticism about those decisions, it doesn't bode well for the future. Especially when you see other games, like I can drop a tweet right now, and I got a pretty high chance of getting some interaction from the Gotham Knights team, the creative director, the voice actors, the developers themselves. They active. They are in the mix, and they are very positive. And it's like I'm not a part of a program, but they're interacting with you. You can set up. You can reach out to them. They're accessible in a way that we haven't seen from most of the team with Crystal Dynamics. And it's like, that just you really need that with this kind of game, bro. It's a live service game. Like you need that more than others. Like you should be in the trenches more than Gotham Knights. You can't look at Destiny and want to be Destiny without doing any of the legwork that Destiny has to do. You're not Destiny. You don't have Destiny's reputation, so you got to work harder. You have to do the legwork that they're not willing to do. You got to be willing to show up when they're not willing to show up, or when they don't have to show up because they don't have to. They're Destiny, or they're Rockstar or whoever. Is like you don't have that luxury, and it's like I don't think they understand it. Miller is the best thing for this game. Tell us in advance they should just hire Miller. They're not hiring Miller, and honestly, that they probably would have been better served establishing some kind of working relationship. Communication. Miller would have stopped putting out content, not even content, but tweets and just anything covering the game ahead of their releases. He would have done that in a heartbeat. If they really reached out to him and just talked to him and communicated with him and asked him, like, hey, could you stop doing this? Or, hey, how about we go about it this way? Just really find a middle ground with Miller. He's open to that. He's made it clear that he's open to that. They don't want to communicate. They don't feel like they have to communicate. Nothing makes sense over there. It's like it's chaos, and it's like, again, it's their prerogative, it's their game, it's all of that, but hey. I'm not touching that one. I'm not touching that one. But again, it's like when I share ideas that people have about this game, or that I have about the game. Like I was looking over somebody's post on Reddit, I think like a week ago, he had a full restructure outline for how they can improve the mission content in the game, and you can tell he put a lot of thought into it. And it's like, I love to see that, but I hate to see it at the same time because it's wasted on this game. It's like they're not in there looking at that stuff and really taking advantage of that, or even engaging with that. Like, as if I'm a developer and I saw that thread, I'm interacting with this guy. I'm talking about him, and it's like, I get it. There are legal barriers between that, so it's like you can't suggest something to them and they just outright take it, because again, you can, there's legal problems that can arise from that, and it's like, I get that. That's something they have to be aware of as developers and things like that. So it's like, that sucks, but just like, even if it's something we don't even plan on doing, or I know we don't have the resources or the time to do, that's something they can do. Like, just interact and talk and make that person feel seen and heard and things like that. I try to engage with subscribers and commenters and all of that stuff as much as possible, because I really appreciate you guys taking time out to interact with me. So if I ask you to comment and you comment, I try to get down there and interact with you because I appreciate you commenting. It can be dry down there. I'm not entitled to comments. I'm not entitled to engagement and stuff like that. So when you show up to a stream, or you show up and comment on a video, or you show up to a premiere and interact, I appreciate that. And when you interact with me on Twitter, I try to interact with you because I appreciate that interaction. You hop into the Discord, I'm trying to be more active over there because I appreciate you being there. And I just think they should have a little more of that attitude, especially for this kind of game. Like, you have a core group of fans who are trying to rock with you, and you're giving them fewer and fewer reasons every year to continue to rock with you. And it's like, again, it's like, last year you saw a ton of people like All Father. He was making all kind of concept arts, and like, hey guys, it would be cool if we did, like, if you could help your other teammates fly. So like, instead of bunny hopping around, Black Widow or Captain America can just get carried around by Thor or Iron Man or something like that. And it's like, that stuff just gets shot down. And it's like, cool idea, bro, but wrong game, I guess. Other stuff, like simply recolors for the Hulkbuster, or new skins for the Hulkbuster. The Hulkbuster is a character in this game. I don't think people know that or realize that, but that's a character. That's a whole character in this game. And we've got nothing for him. Like, Iron Man has a ton of skins, and it's like, you can do something as simple as having the Hulkbuster's color match some of the skins. So when Iron Man puts on his black and gold armor, all right, now you got black and gold Hulkbuster. Or you can just pull different versions of the Hulkbuster. You got MCU Hulkbuster. Put that in the game. It seems simple. It seems really simple. But for this game, it's something's hard. Something behind the scenes make that incredibly hard. And I just don't know why. I don't know why that is, but it is what it is. Make Avengers great again. That's something, again, I'm not touching that. I have no comment on that. Casual, you were there during the server dev calls. Remember when they wouldn't shut those ideas down, but they did the same thing by going through very long explanations? Yeah, that stuff, those dev calls is like, they were fun but discouraging in a lot of ways, because it's like, it just showed that certain developers just don't get it. So it's like a perfect example. We were talking one day, and I was like, idea that I had for them in terms of like marketing, cosmetics, and things like that. So you know how Black Widow has guns. You can simply just change the guns themselves, like not change them, specifically or into different guns, but change the aesthetic. What's good, Arian? Appreciate you coming through, bro. I'm good. Appreciate you coming through, and anybody else who just popped in, make sure to slap a like. Appreciate that. Helps the stream. But yeah, like just giving her like golden guns or diamond plated guns or something like that. And the response was, well, what if we gave her bananas for guns? And it's like, bro, what are you talking about? like what's going on over there? Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, how did we get from here to there? It's like, what's going on with the thought process over there? And it's like, I have no real answers on that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you would get that response from that. People have asked them directly about getting emote wheel into the game, and they like, hey, well, that serves no purpose. Why don't we do something else instead? So they threw out the idea of a ability like a heroic wheel, so you can alternate, like choose different heroics, from the wheel, and it's like that would be great, but you're not gonna do that. And it's like, what does that have to do with the emote wheel? It's like that kind of stuff is why it's like I see full well why the game kind of is in the state that it's in, because it's like there is a big disconnect between what players are looking for from this game, what the developers are looking to deliver from this game, and what's actually feasible in between. And it's like you guys are on two different sides of a river, and everybody is taking turns throwing the rope in the river. You get what I'm saying? You throw a rope over there, like, hey, what about this? They throw it back down and throw a different rope. But nobody's, pulling across, nobody's coming to the other side. And it's like 2023 looks to be much of the same. It's like you're going to have a long drought with no content, and I don't think they understand conceptually that's bad. That's not good. That's not going to be well received. It's like, yes, people are going to be happy whenever you announce something eventually, but they would be a lot happier, and more people would be happy if you announced things earlier and were able to even deliver on things earlier. So again, you've been working on Bucky since May, according to Brian. Appreciate that 5 on, and now your mama knows. You're my number one place to go get Marvel's Avengers info, so thank you for all the videos and live streams. I appreciate all you do. I appreciate that, bro. Like I said, I'm one of many who just, like playing this game and talking about it and all of that stuff. And again, it's like I just try to be positive, because it's like, man, I know it's rough out there to be an Avengers fan, and it's like I'm not fighting anybody over this game. If you don't like it or you think it's dying or whatever you're gonna do, is like I'm gonna let you have it, big dog. You can have that. But speaking of Brian, keep an eye on Twitter tonight. I will not be keeping an eye on Twitter tonight. Yeah, see, yeah. As the title of the video says, get Captain Marvel into Avengers before it's too late. I gotta add that to the title, before it's too late. Get Captain Marvel into Avengers before it's too late, because I'm trying to see a future here. I'm really trying to see a future. I mean, hey, bro, it's not me. That has no. I got no skin in that game. That's between that man, the internet, and life. You get what I'm saying? It's up there. It's up there. I got no skin in that. Holy. Like I said, I genuinely don't care, bro. Like that's on him. And again, people gonna sweep it under the rug and subtweet and all of that stuff. Twitter is gonna Twitter. So if that's what you're looking for, hey, get it in. I just want the game to be worth something, man. And honestly, that's all I'm saying. It's like do something that's meaningful. So it's like I fully understand only being able to do so much within a year given the resources that you got. I fully understand that. I support that. I'm not demonizing them for that. I'm not making fun of them or ridiculing them for that. I get it. But if you only can do so much, make sure whatever it is that you do counts. So if I can only do one video a week, I'm going all in on that one video. That's going to be a hell of a video every week, because that's the best I can do. I want to do more, but I can't. So I got to go all in on what I can do. So I got to make that a quality video, unlike anything else I would be able to put out, because I can only hit once a week. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the logic that I'm using. If you just do what you can, but make it make sense. The Marvel fan base is the only reason this game is still being played. 100%, bro. Like, if this, you saw what happened to, what the hell is the name of that game? What's the name of that game? I never played it. Damn. It died before this died. What's the name of that game? Something with an A. I'm blanking. It's a dead game. The game died. You get Anthem. That's what it is. Thank you. Anthem. if you see what happens when you don't have a real IP that's known. Like even Destiny struggled when it first came out because you didn't come out, you didn't come correct. Thankfully, they managed to buy themselves some time to course correct and reintroduce with a sequel that did deliver on the things that people wanted from the first game. But Avengers is like you even with Cyberpunk 2077 it was like you got a lot of leg work to do before you get there, bro. What's good, Pepper Le Pew? What's good, Storm and T'Challa? Bip Scalers, love that name, bro. But yeah, it's like DC Online is still creaking around. I'm glad you posted that down there. It's like just hey, just there's a way. There's no reason why an Avengers game, this a AAA Avengers game, can't last as long as something like GTA Online or something like that. If you came into the game with that vision, like we plan to be around for at least 10 years, at least 10 years. There's nothing this game wouldn't have been able to do, but you have to execute. You got to have the plan in there. You got to know what you want your game to be. In 2020, no one on that team could communicate what this game was supposed to be. They can tell you some of the stuff that you can do in the game. They can tell you who you can play in the game, but they can't tell you what this game was supposed to be. And a year later, in developer calls, they couldn't tell you what this game was. Now they can kind of tell you what they want the game to be, but again, that's not. A lot of people aren't optimistic about what that game is supposed to be. So this multiplayer experience that the game is or the developers are saying they want to deliver with this, that's not exciting people. A lot of people don't want to play like that. They like, hey, your multiplayer isn't stable. I don't want to crash. I don't want to play with other people. Other people are jerks or assholes or whatever you want to call them. And it's like, I get it. It's like I get it. I understand wanting to just turn the game on and do your thing. And again, it's like, man, I just don't know what to say for that stuff in general, man. It's like it doesn't have to be this way is what's so disheartening about it, because it doesn't have to be this way. You can change it. You can change it. You can turn it around if you wanted to. If there was a desire to turn stuff around, they could do that. If that kind of stuff is the reason that I wanted to be in the creator program once I heard about what it actually is. Because I'm like, okay, well, this just gives me a chance to actually be up close to them and actually say what I'm saying to you guys to them. Like, hey, your business model could be a lot better, and there's a way to execute that so that the fans and the player base doesn't, turn on you and you don't get this ton of backlash and stuff like that because, hey, we communicated it. We didn't just do it. We let you know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and we're still going to make it accessible, for the average player and things like that. But we have to do this so that the game can live long term. What's good, Maximum Venom? I really avoid multiplayer because of how toxic people can be. Yeah, and that's why I try to play with people, because it's like I'm not hollering at you guys, and I know some people just want to see what the raid looks like. A lot of people haven't even played through the raid and don't even know what the hell the raid looks like, because it's hard to get match made with people. It's hard to get a stable group. It's hard to get people to play all the way through the content. And then you got people in there who don't know what they're doing, but they're hollering at other people about not knowing what to do. And it's like, that's not a great experience for anybody. Embracer Group gives CD money. Embracer Group needs to give CD some leadership advice and vision, because again, it's like that seems to be the game's biggest problem. Just leadership, accountability, and just vision for the game overall. Is like somebody has to be in tune. Somebody got to be in tune with what the game needs, what the players want, things like that. Because if you can deliver what the players want, if you can deliver something that people are willing to pay for, your game will always have a future. If you can deliver something that people are having fun doing every day, every week, your game is going to have a future. They gatekeep and time gate content because they know if you blow through it, you're going to get bored after like a week or two, and you're not going to be coming back to this game. And that their way of kind of throttling your experience is, all right, well, you can only really play something meaningful once a week, and that way you'll drag and creak along every week, and we can kind of drip feed you that way and just keep you coming back. And it's like better games don't really have to do all of that stuff. And it's like, again, if you want people to be able to fast track and have to pay for it, there's a way to do that. You just have to communicate like that. Grand Theft Auto sells shark cards. You can fast track your way to the top of the game real quick, especially if you want to be a whale. You got deep pockets, live your dream life. You get what I'm saying? It's you can do it. We just there's a reason you can do it. You get what I'm saying? So if you want to do the slow grind, you can do the slow grind. There's take your time with it. Play with your friends. Do whatever you want to do. It's like it's the gaming industry is difficult. Development is difficult. I'm not downplaying that, but it's not that difficult to where it's like this thing is just insurmountable. You get what I'm saying? It's like we can do a lot better than that. And I'm not about operating in excuses and just passing the blame on the other things like that. It's like take accountability. We made some mistakes. We really need to do better going forward. All right, we got new leadership. All right, new leadership. What we got going on? What changes has the new leadership shown us? What changes has the new leadership implemented that we can get behind? You get what I'm saying? It's like we know it's a new team there, but this new team doesn't. It seems like we took a step back. So it's like it seems like we went from the A team to the B team. The A team wasn't all that great, and the B team seems closer to a C team to a degree. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on? So when you ask like what's going on next year, Lord, if I don't know. I can tell you about what I wish was going on. I wish we had a lot going on. But it sounds like we're going to have another slow year of drip feeding content and reworks with minimal communication about it. And that's another year for Avengers. And it's like, it's unfortunate, man. I didn't touch the raid for a year because of how buggy it was at the start. After going in there, I can definitely say it's really fun when it works. The raid is fun. Like when you communicating, when you have people you can trust who know what they're doing and who are also, just looking to have fun in there, it's like the raid is fine. It doesn't have to take, like if it's taking you an hour or more, your build is bad. Your team's build is bad. It's not supposed to be that long. But I get it. For some people, that's going to be your experience. Everybody doesn't have elite builds. Everybody doesn't, have the best characters available. Sometimes who you bring into the raid has a factor into it. So you go into the raid with 4 Captain Americas or 4 Hulks, you're going to be there for a while. You get what I'm saying? So it's like when you see people speed run the raid, they're very strategic with who they pick, what the combination of groups are, and all of that stuff, because all of that matters. All of that's a factor. So when I hear people complain like, "Oh, I don't want to play the raid because it's going to be an hour or more," there's stuff you can do to work on that. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, hey, I get it. Avengers is shutting down in an hour. Breaking news. All right, well, I guess let's wrap this up and get a raid in real quick. But yeah, it's like I can play the raid. Like when I miss playing Avengers, like when I just took a break from playing Avengers, because of life, it's like I miss playing it, but it's like I really just miss playing like fighting, running around with Captain America kicking his shield around, running around with the Hulk, or running around as Black Panther and things like that. It's like that's what I really miss. At the core of the game, that's what's the best thing about it. And it's like I just wish I had more to do in that regard. It's like I wish I was fighting Ultron by now. I wish Loki was around. You get what I'm saying? It's like I wish Loki was a thing. I wish Crossbones existed outside of the War for Wakanda campaign. I wish somebody as cool as Crimson Dynamo was around. You get what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that is what I'm talking about. And it's like I can wish all day, but if you're showing no signs of that being a thing, or your ability or even desire to do something like that, I can accept that. I can accept the reality of that. I accepted a long time ago what this team is capable of, what this team isn't capable of, and I, kind of tempered my expectations for what we're going to get. So it's like going into this year, I was really high on the game. I'm like, okay, we got a secret hero being worked on that deviate from the list of heroes that we initially heard about. We on pace to have 3 more heroes. So it's like I'm thinking we're getting 4 heroes. So I'm like, okay, Jane Foster, She-Hulk, Winter Soldier and Captain Marvel at the end of the year, that's a win. That's a major dub for the year. That's not what we got. That's not even remotely close to what we got. And it's like, as the months went on, as the weeks went by, it's like, all right, I'm hearing more, I'm talking more, I'm reading what they're saying, I'm listening to what they're saying, I'm seeing what you're able to do and what you can't do, and like I said, I'm accepting that. So, hey, what's up? What's up, OHB? Defender is trolling. Hey, let me see. Yeah, he trolling, bro. He's trolling. The Dales aren't worried about the game, and they'll just be put on better projects. I mean, they would hope so. That one of the lead developers from Avengers got moved over to another project, and that didn't work out well for him. So it's it seems to be it seems to be bigger problems going on at Crystal Dynamics, and it's like I haven't talked in depth with them about that behind the scenes about what the culture is like over there, but a lot of hearsay isn't great, and it's like it's like this is just one problem after the next with this game, and it's like it's unfortunate, bro. It's unfortunate because it's like this is a big game, and it's not a terrible game. You got a great story there, you got great gameplay there, and it's like this game could do a lot better than what it's doing if you had the vision to do so. It's like I just don't know what the game plan is over there, and it's like I don't. At some point, you got to do better. You can't keep doing this. Like this year that we just had cannot be the norm and cannot be the standard. So if every year is going to be like 2022, how long do you plan on sticking around for Avengers? Like realistically, how many years are you going to stick around for maybe one or two, maybe a 1.5 heroes and one mission, or one form of mission content that's actually of use? You get what I'm saying? Like how long are you going to stick around for that? It's like, but to their credit, it's like we never know what they fully have up their sleeves. They could have something big up their sleeve that we have no clue about. Nobody was talking about Game Pass before it came out. Nobody was talking about them going free to play with PlayStation Plus. So it's like they can always have something up their sleeves. What's good, Zachary? I'm good, bro. Appreciate you coming through. Sounds like it's up to Phil. Phil is no longer a part of the team. Phil hasn't been a part of the team for a while. That's why Brian's the lead now. First year was that best. Yeah, like I said, people were criticizing them in that first year, that first real year of development. But it's like, looking back on it, I don't think people knew how good they had it at the time. And it's like, again, it's unfortunate. I definitely had high hopes in them dropping at least 3 characters this year. Yeah, it's like this. Oh, you talking about Phil Rogers? I was about to say, I thought you were talking about the developer Phil. Like, yeah, Phil, he got up out of there. I don't know if he's on another project. I don't know, what his status is, but he's no longer on Avengers. But Phil, the CEO, I mean, like I said, that man reading cue cards during his Embracer presentation. So, like I said, if the reason that I really don't subscribe to the idea that the game is dying or the team is just packing it in because the game is dying is because you're dedicating so much time to making things more accessible for newer players long term. So it's like you're doing the groundwork to make the game suitable for a future to a degree. So your events, you got the shipments, you got the onboarding process for new players and stuff like that. You're implementing free to play options and stuff. It's like you're doing the groundwork to be around and be better than you were initially, because the multiplayer or in-game content year one was terrible. Like it was absolutely atrocious. There's no getting around it. Like that was probably the most poorly planned and executed aspect of this game. Like if you were here day one from the beta, this game looks a lot different than it looks a lot different now than it did, the first week Avengers was around. And it's like, those are all good things, but it's like, it's still, you could do a lot better than what you're doing. Like, the rehashing skins and the shipments. It's like you can do a lot better than what you're doing. So it's like, yes, I get it. You want to make the skins that most people have missed or newer players have missed accessible to them. Put that skin on the vendor. Like, put it in the vendor for free. So you're still spending units to get it. And if you want it, you can just put it there. It's like, I understand not wanting the shipment skins to be available in the marketplace, but the vendors should be fair game. So it's like, whatever skins you have passed that was the chase skin, make it available at the vendors, and that's it. Or make it available from the fabrication machine. There's other places to do that so that you're not penalizing your players who were here, because now they're the people who don't get anything. It's like, you have to find a better balance for that. Every time you have to choose between rewarding newer players and shorting the veteran players, they always choose the veteran players to get the short end of the stick. And it's like, you can't keep doing that, bro. Like, you can't do that every time. Like, it's not even a balance. Like I can see if it was like 2 out of 5 times. Every single time you have to choose between the new players getting something, getting a chance to get something old, or veteran players getting something new. The new players are going to win every single time. And it's like, the veteran players are the ones who have been sticking with you. They're the ones who've been fighting for you, who've been accepting your apologies. They've been forgiving your mess ups and all of that good stuff. And it's like, you can't do people like that, bro. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm saying is short-sighted. It's like, somebody on the team has to have a better vision and a bigger vision about the game overall. Like, you have to appreciate your fan base. If people feel rewarded, feel seen, feel heard, they're going to be willing to give you a chance. They're going to be willing to accept your fumbles and stumbles and all of that stuff. And if you do that, again, there are no people boycotting your marketplace because, hey, they know I'm being heard, I'm being rewarded. So if I have a criticism, it's not being tuned out in favor of someone new who just got here who doesn't even know what's wrong with the game yet. It's like, it's a balance. It perfectly balanced as everything should be. It's like, there's a balance there, bro. And you just got to find it. Thanks for everything, Calju, but I got to dip. I'll take you. Hey, bro, get that family time in, man. Life is short. Get that family time in. Appreciate you coming through and hanging out with the stream. Hope you and your son have a good time at the park, man. Very true. The status now, it is very different, which is why this sucks. They've shown the game has potential to be better, but a year with no contact outside of hating on Miller sucks. It's like, bro, man, I literally deleted my save data on Avengers just to have something to do on it. That's dedication. Anything happens to my save data, it might be a while before I'm on Avengers. You get what I'm saying? It's like, you might not see me for a while because that's a lot. That is a lot. But it's the fact that you're even in that position, bro. Like, you shouldn't be that down bad for something to do in this game. It's I hope you wasn't that far along, or I hope your bills wasn't nothing too special or something to justify that, because it's like that they shouldn't be pushing you to those extremes. And with the story content, it was like, we should be able to play story missions. So it's like, that's something you can do. That's something you can do with as far as content. Drag some of those story missions from the campaign only into the multiplayer. So, hey, the helicarrier is attacked. Let's throw that in there, but you can play through it with Spider-Man now. You can play through it with Jane Foster and Kate Bishop and Hawkeye. You could just throw it out there, bro. Just give people something to do. Most of your best content is locked behind campaign stuff. And it's like, that makes no sense. Especially when you're struggling to get new stuff out in the first place. It's like, and we're going to be reusing assets. Go reuse something that makes sense. Just being able to swing around with Spider-Man while the helicarrier getting shot up, that's fine. I accept that. Infiltrating in the aim just to fight the Monica Exo and fight some super adaptors, but you can do it as Spider-Man or Hawkeye or somebody like that, I'll do it. I wish I can do that with the Winter Soldier when he comes out. Do stuff like that. What's good, James? Appreciate you coming through. I completed everything in Avengers, and I was like, let me just delete everything and start over. That's a bold decision, man. What's good, Iron Trudio? Do you something about new gear or Clone Lab? I don't know anything specific about the new gear that's coming with Clone Lab, but they are, introducing new gear when Clone Lab drops. That's going to raise your power level from 175 to 185. But yeah, it's like, what's good, Capte? How you doing, bro? Hope the weekend's been kind to you, man. And what's good, Killer Noise? This turn from a casual strain to a preaching strain. I've never preached of it, bro. I'm literally just saying what makes sense to me. So it's like I wish I could have a dialogue with the development team, just like an open, honest dialogue about what their limitations are, why they choose to do the things that they do, because they're super vague about it. Like, we don't know the logic behind choosing heroes. So we don't know why you chose Winter Soldier. We don't even know why Winter Soldier was an option over somebody like War Machine or Falcon or Vision or well-known Avengers. You get what I'm saying? It's like, why was he an option? Why did you land on him? I'm not mad that you chose him. I just wish I can make sense of why. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, that kind of information is never made available. Like, we just don't really get that kind of insight because it's AI central. Hey, it's going down when he comes. Like I said, when I saw him on the list, I was excited. But it's like, yeah, if you make the argument of like, why is he chosen over other well-known Avengers? It's like, yeah, it's a fair question. I wish we had an answer on that. You get what I'm saying? And then also when you take the stance like, oh well, we're not doing people like Wolverine or something like that, it's like, why not? We got Jane Foster. It's like, who? If you did a poll asking people who they would want, Wolverine in this game or Jane Foster, it's like, it's not Wolverine in a landslide, bro. Like, it's not even close. It wouldn't even be close to a degree because she does fly. So it's like there are people who are going to value a flyer over somebody else who's running around. But Wolverine's name alone, that would be big. That would be massive. That's a hero event. So doing a Wolverine hero event in an Avengers game, that would be massive. Doing like somebody who just isn't there. So like if you did a Sentry, like the Sentry hero event, we're bringing Sentry into Avengers. That's going to do numbers, bro. Like no other game, no other AAA console game or PC game offers you the opportunity to play as the Sentry in any capacity. Like you can play with them in mobile games, but a AAA game with this combat system and skill trees and all of that stuff is like, man. We just need traversal for all heroes. I mean, you got traversal. You need an update. The traversal isn't great. And like I said, the traversal stuff, I don't think is. I don't know what their approach is going to be for it, but I don't think it's that deep. Like a faster run for the people who are stuck to the ground, or the option to run faster, should be enough. So like the Hulk should be able to run faster up hallways, because jumping around like hives and aim labs and stuff like that, it doesn't work for him because you're constantly hitting your head on the ceiling. So you're actually getting around slower, and his run is just ridiculously slow. So it's like you're suffering when it comes to traversal with him. So it's like being able to burst run or do a charge jump would literally be enough. So I can control my jump. So I can do a light jump or a super high jump just by holding down the jump button and do a charge run to speed through these hallways because he's the Hulk. And I shouldn't have to sacrifice my intrinsic to do it. It's like, just let people run around, man. just let people be free. It's an Avengers game, brother. Just let them play the game. It's like everything has to come at the expense of something. It's like, that is so weird. That's such a weird decision. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it, but it's like, as always, I'm optimistic about what they can do, what's coming, but I'm also realistic. So, this man dropping Avengers! Jonathan with the sub. I appreciate you becoming an Avenger. Thanks for joining and coming into the stream. You already got your War Machine type skin this week. What more could you ask for? War Machine. I swear if they introduced Doctor Strange and AIM somehow made it's like the AIM storyline that has to wrap up, bro. Like That there's no way we can keep doing the AIM storyline for every single hero, every single villain, and stuff like that. Like we got to wrap that up. It's we got to do better, bro. Like if you want the game to have an actual future, and you want people to actually have confidence in what your team can do, you gotta give them something to feel that way about. So it's like I'm interested in seeing what this gun can do. I know he got a grenade launcher on the bottom of it. He's Miller was talking yesterday on a podcast. He was saying that he's going to be throwing daggers, or his knife is going to function similar to like Black Panther's throwing daggers, but different. Like it's going to be remixed to fit him, I guess. So it's like I don't really know what that looks like, but it's like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I mean, he has a gun, so it's like I don't know why you're throwing a knife. Like I figured the knife would factor into his melee, similar to what we saw with him and when he was fighting Captain America in Winter Soldier. But it's like throwing the knife, like you got a gun, bro. Like I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. We'll see. We will see what it looks like with his gameplay, coming into next week. So it's like, what's today? Sunday. Probably Tuesday we'll get the motion comic trailer. And wait a second before I start making that prediction. So today is the 20th. Let me see. Yeah, so Thanksgiving is Thursday. They're not going to be doing nothing Thursday probably. So yeah, we'll probably get something Tuesday, and maybe a blog on Thursday talking about the dev stream and everything that's coming up. I would be surprised if they did a dev stream on Friday. I don't see that happening. They probably do all of that on Monday or something. Like I said, you never know with this game. You never know with what's going on or what they choose to do and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm putting all my eggs in the comics motion trailer dropping on Tuesday, and after that, everything else is a toss up. That's what I'm saying. Like stuff like this makes no sense, bro. Why would you wait until the week of a holiday, like a national holiday, to start doing your promotion for your content that you knew was coming out at the end of this month? It's like it seems like they just do it they hold off on doing it until the very last opportunity possible because they really don't want to do it at all or something. Because it's like it makes no sense. Gotham Knights has been promoting Heroic Assault coming before the game even came out. And it's like I know you knew based on your internal roadmap that you were aiming for a late November release for Bucky. So it's like you could have been promoting this way before this, bro. Like there's no reason to hold all of this off until the week of a holiday. It's like you got Black Friday sale promotion going on and all this other stuff, and then you got Gotham Knights. They're gonna ramp up their promotion as well, and then you got Midnight Suns is literally a week or two away. So it's like, why would you do this? Like, why would you put yourself in the mix of all that clutter in terms of marketing and promotion? Is like decision making, bro. Like that kind of decision making is why you don't know what's going on with this game. Why it's hard to see a clear future for what's going on, because it's like they just do stuff that doesn't make sense. And it's like there's not too many excuses I'm entertained in front of that, because that's either that reads like you're not good at your job and you don't know much about marketing or something like that. So if like everybody else can get their things signed off on and approved and stuff like that way ahead of the deadline, because it's like there's no reason for you to be doing marketing this late in the game, a week before your hero actually comes out and stuff like that. That seems like poor planning and bare minimum. Like, oh, we'll just put everything off onto the back end and to avoid having to actually do any real marketing and promotion and stuff. And it's like that sucks, bro. Like that's not cool. And that's honestly, your player base deserves better from you than that. Like you really deserve better than that at this point. Probably best we just enjoy the game for what it is and keep our expectations low. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that you even have to say something like that about an Avengers game. Like this isn't some mobile game or a old PS2 game or something like that. Like this is a AAA multi-million-dollar game, bro. And it's like, oh, keep your expectations low, guys. Don't really have any real expectations for what they can do or what they're gonna do. And it's like, bro, what kind of shit is that? It's like that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible, bro. And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like I know marketing. I know marketing, and this reads like budget problems and no enthusiasm behind the scenes. So whoever's in charge of brand marketing, I won't name them specifically, but you don't seem like you're either knowledgeable or passionate about your job. When I see the marketing for Marvel's Midnight Suns, they seem passionate. When I see the marketing for Gotham Knights, they seem passionate. Um, everything we see with Avengers, it just seems like the bare minimum, and who can we pass this off to? And it's like now that Andy isn't there, they just seem to be really lacking on in that department, and it's like I really don't understand why, bro. Like it makes no sense. So it's like this artwork, you could have had this out, I don't know how long ago, man. It's like November, bro. Like you literally couldn't talk about this until the month of. That makes no sense. It's like that's terrible marketing. Terrible marketing. You announce, Jane Foster back in April and don't have anything to say about her. Nothing to show up for her. Nothing until the week she's about to come out. That's terrible. like imagine that. Imagine they announced God of War Ragnarok last year, and you don't hear or see anything about that game until the week of. We do all our marketing the week of. That's terrible. that's absolutely laughable, bro. Like what is that? What kind of logic is that? You are in the gaming industry, and it's like you don't have the market to yourself anymore. Everybody's getting past their setbacks, from the pandemic issues and all of that stuff. Like people are not struggling with that stuff anymore, or as much as they were. So now games are getting out. Those pushback release dates, they're arriving. So now games are actually making it to the market. So you're not the only thing people are left with. People were entertained in this game because they didn't have much else to play at the time. There's a lot of people who are cool chilling in Gotham right now, and it's now a lot of people who would have been day one players of Winter Soldier and Cloning Lab, they're like, hey, I'll be in Gotham. I'm playing Heroic Assault first. I'm more excited for Heroic Assault than I am for the Winter Soldier and Cloning Lab. And it's like, how did you let it get this bad, bro? Like, how did you let it get this bad? Let's get a petition going for you to be the new marketing leader for Avengers. I don't want that job, bro. Like, I don't even want to know what's going on anymore at this point, because it's like, if I promise you, if I was in charge of the marketing though, I like all BS aside, it's like 110%, bro. I'm the brand manager or the marketing leader for AAA Marvel's Avengers game, and I got access to the Marvel Studios and all of this stuff, like the Marvel games higher ups. I'm having all kind of calls. Bro, whatever budget we got left, we gonna do some amazing things with it. And again, you got a whole social media with thousands of followers. Appreciate that too, Jazzy. The Wicked Mission had a trailer one day before. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why? When like I said, we saw you teasing things months in advance. We saw Black Panther back in March, and he didn't arrive until August. And now it seemed like it kind of started with Spider-Man to a degree. It's like they didn't really start showing or talking about Spider-Man until the day he was close to dropping. And I think that's when a lot of those probably leadership changes was being implemented, and a lot of those different approaches to how they actually promote content began rolling out. Because if you pay attention, like starting back in with the promotion for Spider-Man, and again, appreciate that too, Jazzy. You didn't see, like, they put him on an itty bitty tiny roadmap. Like if you blink, you got to squint to kind of see Spider-Man on there. And then it's like, right before his release is when you start doing a promotion of his trailers, and you got his artwork similar to this and all of that stuff. And it's like that I don't know. That doesn't read like budget. Like, okay, you don't have the budget to make a teaser trailer. I get that. Art, graphic art, bro. Like, are you waiting until the day of to get this stuff campaigned? Like, I mean, commissioned. Like, what are we doing? Tell him again, Bucky. And it's like, oh wow. Now that I don't get it, bro. It's like the dude looks fine. Though. I know I've been hearing a lot of people complaining about how he looks. He looks fine to me, bro. He looks like a Winter Soldier, bro. Long hair, dark eyes, and all of that stuff. I'm not expecting much from him. Like I don't. If you looking for like him to look like his MCU counterpart, you kind of set yourself up with that one. But he looks fine. So it's like I'm that's what I'm saying. This game definitely gets overly criticized and scrutinized, and some of it is fair, but it's like man, the only thing that gets scrutinized more than this game is LeBron James. That's it. That's your next best comparison. Like that, no matter what they announce for this game, no matter who they announce for this game, no matter what they do, it is getting overly criticized, like ridiculously criticized, and it's. Well, yeah, man. It's like I said, it's ultimately just unfortunate, bro. Like you tease Ultron, get Ultron in the game, man. Stop playing around. We hit the ground running. So if you're not gonna have a hero available day like early into 2023, go big with Ultron. You know what I'm saying? Go big with like Ultron should be 2.9. Ultron should be a part of the 2.9 update. So hey, the Ultron initiative is started, or Ultron takes over, the AIM, Adaptoid facilities or something like that. It's like just get Ultron into the story, get new Ultron bots running around with new mechanics, new designs, and all of that stuff, and just give us something new, and then roll out patrol mode and get new villains in there. Get new stuff going. That way, if this is what you do and we don't see a new hero until June, all right, we got a new villain and we got a new mode to run around in. And then you get War Machine or She-Hulk or somebody like that. And then you get to the point where, all right, we finally get the Kree Invasion and Captain Marvel, whatever the hell that actually looks like for this game at this point. Because I don't know. I think the Kree Invasion is going to be very, very simplistic and scaled down compared to what a lot of people are envisioning and hoping for. I hope, I hope they can find a way to deliver on that and make it bigger than what I'm thinking of. But realistically, I don't think they have the desire to. Like similar to how they handle Spider-Man, so where we don't get anything for Spider-Man. He doesn't get new skins. He's not really being a part of anything in the story, anything like that. He's only on one console, so it's like, it seems like you're penalized. It feels like everybody loses when it comes to Spider-Man. So it's like you didn't put your best effort into Spider-Man. Spider-Man is nowhere near the strongest character or even top 5 characters in the game. His melee is underwhelming. His damage output is underwhelming. You just gave him a buff that makes him a little better, but ultimately it's like you leave a lot to be desired when it comes to Spider-Man. And it feels like that's because we don't we only have him on one platform. So we can't make as much money off of him because he's only on PlayStation. We can't justify putting resources towards developing new things for him, like takedowns and things like that, because again, we're only going to make so much money off of it because he's only on one platform. And it's like everybody loses. So everybody got an underwhelming Spider-Man, and the people who don't have access to him are pissed because they like, why would you do this? Why did you alienate us like this? And the people who do got access to him, they're like, all right, well, what happened? Why haven't we seen the skin? Why haven't we? Most of his combat is built around takedowns, and they've offered no new takedowns for him. Like none. No emotes, no nothing. Like you literally doing nothing for Spider-Man. Nothing. You've done nothing for Spider-Man after getting his few little approved MCU skins in. After his what was the Iron Spider from the MCU got added to the game. That's it. They 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 they've done nothing with Spider-Man, and it's like, why, why would, why is this what it is? And it's like, I really wish it was better, bro. He has no business. He does have business in Avengers. It's like, it's a way to make that work. Just do again. If I'm a part of the team that's communicating with Sony about Spider-Man being a part of our Avengers game, this is a limited time exclusive. That's the only thing that makes sense for us. I know Sony, like, yeah, we want exclusivity and all of that stuff. That's great for you, Sony, but that doesn't serve us in a live service game that's supposed to be around for a while. So no, we're gonna do a limited time exclusive. So PlayStation players are gonna get early access to Spider-Man. All right, everybody else, you'll get them a month later. You get what I'm saying? Or 3 months later or whatever. If we don't put a direct time on it, whatever, but it's a limited time exclusive. So everybody else will get Spider-Man at some point. And during that time, we can build up our rotation of skin. We can build up our rotation of takedowns and everything, because that's what makes sense for our game that we are trying to make a profit from. It's like, it's just simple stuff. Like, and I don't even think they negotiated for that. Like, I don't think they negotiated about anything, because to hear that they are behind the scenes, trying to negotiate about, how profits are going to be shared from the sales of his MCU skins that late in the game, is like, you did nothing, bro. Like, you communicated nothing. The movie came out and you had nothing prepared, nothing ready, and you still don't have access to those skins. He has no MCU skins from Spider-Man No Way Home, and Sony made them specifically hold off on releasing him until closer to the release date. And it's like, what's going on? Like what's the logic there? It's like, oh well, we'll pay you to put them in the game. All right, that's good enough for us. Oh wait, well, how do skins work? We're no longer really willing to negotiate. You don't even have leverage at this point. You get what I'm saying? Like, what are you gonna do? Not make the skins? We don't care. Like, we've made the people who bought that games on our system, we've made the money from that already. The people who bought PlayStations specifically for Spider-Man access, we've made our money already. Sony came out great from that terrible deal. And it's like, I don't know, man. I guess it was amateur hour at Crystal Dynamics or something. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I've said I don't know like 50,000 times in this stream alone, but it's like, seriously, like, bro, what are we doing over here? Like, what the hell is going on with this company when it comes to just planning, negotiation, and just like common sense things? Like, I don't know. But again, get Captain Marvel in the game. As problematic as the team is, as all the excuses aside, all the problems aside, get Captain Marvel in the game. Give people something to be excited about. Give people, like, finally start paying off some of those teases you set up. You've been teasing this lady from the jump. You got posters in Kamala's room. You got conversation about her all over the helicarrier. You brought Nick Fury back just to talk about her and stuff like that. She's in this book. Get Captain Marvel in the game. Like, just get it, bring her to the game. Like, just do what makes sense at this point. They said they was honored to partner with PlayStation to have some exclusive content that they'll talk about later on. Man. Hopefully they give us something. Either the team behind Avengers or Miller can come across something that's encouraging about the future of the game going into 2023. Because going into 2023 right now, my mindset is they are going to slow drip whatever. So it's like, I don't think 2.9 is going to be a big update, and they've already confirmed that 2.8 isn't going to be a major update. And I'm hearing 3.0 is supposed to be the patrol mode. That can change. That's rumor at this point. We've heard nothing confirming that, or anything substantial that really suggests that or anything like that. I don't believe that the new hero has already been in development. I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, Bucky is ready to release. So it's like once he gets to the testing stage, like, play testing, you should be free to work on who's next. Like, and the problem with that I'm realizing, that I just realized this year, that I don't think a lot of people were aware of last year. Most of the people who play test this game are the people that work on the game. Like, they don't have, I don't think they really have quality, play testers or anything like that. I think they just use the people that work for the studio who are playing the game. So, like, Andy was play testing. Your brand manager is doing play testing. It's like, what the hell is that? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is that? You got people from the art department play testing. And it's like, I remember Alex made a comment about that. He was saying, like, they found out that the people who were play testing were just, they didn't have proper bills. They weren't, they were just doing anything. And this is the information that's being factored into how this content is being programmed and coded and stuff. And it's like, it's a AAA game. Like, bro, that's ghetto. Like, there's no other word for it. It's like, that's ghetto as hell. Like, what is that? And it's like, you literally have content creators, bro. Like, you got people like Lejeune in your creator program who you could give early access to this stuff and play test and get genuine feedback. You had Tony Bing in your Discord at one point, and that's somebody who's all about the numbers. You got people like Fate Walker who should be in that program, even though it doesn't serve anybody. But Fate is a numbers guy. Fate Walker is a numbers guy, phenomenally, and it's like, that's people like that should be play testing. Let people who actually, while adding in casual players. So it's like you should have a spectrum of players play testing your content ahead of its release, giving you a wide range of feedback. Not just the people who work on your game. Hey guys, I work on Avengers. I got to play with Winter Soldier today. What, bro? You work in accounting. What are you doing playing with the Winter Soldier, bro? What is the marketing team doing playing with Winter Soldiers? That's your problem. You doing the wrong stuff. You should be on the phone with Marvel Games trying to figure out a better marketing campaign. But here we are. That's Avengers as it is, I guess. And it's like, so when people say, oh, they should do Avengers 2, you cannot do an Avengers 2 with this studio and expect people to pay for that, bro. If you think people are cooking this game, you think this game is cooking, announce Avengers 2 by Crystal Dynamics. And that's being real. If you know this, if you know me, if you know this channel, if you've been subscribed for a while, all I do is keep it a buck. That is not me throwing shade. That's not me getting down. That is me telling you the facts. This game can't make an announcement about anything without being cooked for what they're doing. Avengers 2 from Crystal Dynamics is gonna get cooked, bro. Like, that's 4th of July barbecue right there. Like, it's a wrap. You cannot do that. You have to do a massive turnaround for this game, or you gonna have, when you announce that better be a hell of a trailer. But even then, you got so much negative history with this game. Your reputation is so bad at this point, nobody's gonna believe it. Nobody's gonna be willing to spend the money to playtest that. Nobody is gonna be willing to get gypped again, because so many people feel burned and jaded about this game as it is. They're not falling for that again. And it's like, you have to do the work here first. You have to. There is no just, all right, well, let's pull the plug on this and take what we learned. I don't think you learned anything, because we're still seeing the same bad mistakes. I don't think you learned anything. So it's like, show me you learned something with this game. Do better with this game. If you can't do right with this, like if that's like buying your teenager a car and they tearing it up, bro. Like, you're tearing your car the fuck up. Like, it's dents on it. You hitting people every time you park. And then you come to me like, hey, I want a better car. I think I'm ready for, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready for a Camaro. No, you're not, bro. Absolutely not. Take care of that little Honda outside. Like, you gotta do right with what you have first. You have to do better with this game. And you can. You can do better with this game right now. You can do better marketing for this game right now. You can do better with communication for this game right now. You can start planning better for the game that you're working on right now. Right now. I don't know what the meetings are consistent of. I don't know what's going on, but it's like we're clearly not putting our best foot forward. We're not doing the best we can. I believe you're working hard in some capacity. I believe the team behind this game, the few people who are working on this game, are working hard to get out the content that they can. But again, that work would be better served going towards something that's actually meaningful, something that's actually going to land, like Captain Marvel. Put Captain Marvel in the game. Spend that time, energy, and work working on Captain Marvel. Branding manager, do the work of promoting Captain Marvel and new content that's coming months in advance. Let's get some concept art commissioned for Captain Marvel months in advance. Let's get her branding art, let's get this commissioned months in advance so that we can talk about this. We can have a developer stream about this. We can do all of this. We can do a Forbes interview if they'll have us. Whatever. Let's get on Xbox again. Let's promote this wherever we can, because that's the least you can do, bro. Like, especially if you're getting paid, just do it. Just do it. I'm a developer, and I'm coming on. Like, bro, I would be on Caboose's channel with the quickness just for letting him host the live stream. I would be on his channel with the swiftness. Like, hey, let's get the most eyes we can on this stream, so that we can communicate what our vision is, what our plans are for our upcoming content. I want this to be a hit. I want this. I'm gonna put my best developer forward. You get what I'm saying? He doesn't have to be a lead. Whoever has the best personality, whoever comes across as the most passionate person. You get what I'm saying? Whoever people can relate to and engage with the most, and come away feeling like, man, he's a gamer. Development aside, he's a gamer. I like that guy. That's who I want promoting my content. That's who I want promoting the game. That's who I want communicating to the player base what our plans is. That's somebody who's going to come across like they're excited about the game, and who is excited for you to see what they're working on for the game. And they have developers who fit that bill. You just haven't really seen them. That's all I'll tell you. You haven't really seen them like that. And it's like, I just wish somebody can ignite some kind of passion behind the team behind this game for just doing better. Like, stop. It's like they don't understand that what they've done up until this point isn't the best. It isn't the absolute best that we can do. And I wish that they get to a point where they get that. I wish somebody understood on the team that this game is not in the greatest position. Yes, people are excited about Winter Soldier. The fact that they even started talking last week has completely changed most of the negative tone or tension around the community, because when the longer those communication droughts go on, the more negative, the more toxic, the more all of that the community becomes, because that's all it is. Like, people who want PvP in this game, you got PvP. It's on Reddit, it's on Twitter, it's on Discord. Players are fighting players all over the place because there's nothing else to do in the game and there's no communication. So it's like somebody made a post about Miller's podcast last night outlining everything he talked about, and that was relatively well received. A month ago, all you would have saw was negative comments targeting Miller, attacking his character, and all of that stuff, because people are salty about this game and they haven't moved on for whatever reason. This is the only game I know of where people who haven't played this game in months, like, oh, I haven't played this game since the Black Panther update. But you're still talking about it, bro. Like, if I haven't played this game since Wakanda Forever, it's like this. There would be no content about this on this channel at all. Like, I wouldn't have anything to say. I don't have an opinion on this game because I don't care about this game at this point. I don't play it. Like, I just don't understand that. It's like, if this was any other game, you wouldn't see that. Like, nobody's still talking about Anthem to that degree outside of the fact that it died before it really got out the gate. It's like, that's it. That's the only real context you speak of that game in. Nobody is still dedicated to hanging around and going on rants and stuff like that about Anthem. Anthem is done. We've accepted that. Everybody moved on. I never played the game, so it's like I didn't care to begin with, but it is what it is. But yeah, like I said, you definitely have PvP in this game. Go Go somewhere and tell people you looking forward to this content. You'll find some PvP. You know, and it's vice versa. Go somewhere and tell people you hate this game. You'll get some PvP real quick. And it's like that's why I said, like, if you listen to people talk about this game, people who supposedly like the game, people who supposedly, I want to see the game do well. You won't really be able to tell if you're listening to them. You get what I'm saying? It's like, and that's just where we are with the game. And it's like, it seems like everybody is aware of that, except for like the core dev team. And it's like, at some point we got to get in tune with reality, bro. Like, and it's like, not even being aware of it is enough. Doing things to combat that. What's good, some guy? Appreciate you coming through. And again, if you guys have just popped in and have been here for a while, drop a like. It helps. Like I said, we just hanging out, chatting, talking about Avengers, and talking about why we need to fast track Captain Marvel into this game, man. It's like that's the big thing, and that's what we need. That's what we need in this game, bro. It's been 2 years. Just give us Captain Marvel already. Like, just give it to us. Just give it up already. Just give it up. Drop her. Drop the Kree enemies. All of that stuff. Just go all in. Just go ahead and give her up already, bro. We done with the teasers. You done teased us to death. we can't take any more teasing. Like, just give it up, man. Like, everything else has to come second to that. Even though I know it's not. Like, I know, patrol mode is way too far along at this point to be pushed back. But it's like, imagine that. Like, we closed the year out, so instead of getting the Jane Foster stuff, you do traversal updates. You get what I'm saying? So instead of Jane Foster, you got a major update to traversal during that time. You got traversal updates, you got hero buffs and all of that stuff. And then, beyond that, you get, you figure out other things you can work on. You can do a new event or something like that. And then you drop Captain Marvel and the Kree invasion at the end of November. That's big. And then early next year, or, going into early middle of next year, you got patrol mode ready to roll out. You're on your way, bro. Like, you're taking steps to do better. And then, like I said, then you can squeeze out a Bucky. Then you can squeeze out She-Hulk or War Machine or something like that, because we already got something major. But again, you have to close out the year with strong major characters. So it's like Winter Soldier, She-Hulk, War Machine, those aren't people you close a year out with. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't, that's not the end of, that's not the end of a year for content. They're not big enough for that. These are B characters. You know what I'm saying? You end your year with an A tier character. Black Panther was an A tier character, but you ended the year with Spider-Man, who is also an A tier character. You just shot yourself in the foot with it because you limited to just having them on one platform. You could do better with this year, but you chose to go with Winter Soldier. So it's like, it's something. I'm not gonna say I'm not glad that you're giving us Winter Soldier. I was always excited to get Winter Soldier, but as the end of the year content, like, that's our big content drop for the year. It's like, there's no way. Like, I never saw that coming. I wouldn't have co-signed for that being the thing. If I got wind of that being your decision months and months in advance before you committed to that, I would have told you, like, vehemently, do not do that. Don't do that. That's if you're foregoing, She-Hulk tying in with her show, then just don't do anybody and just give us Captain Marvel. And next year, try to give us a hero and then do like Doctor Strange or somebody to close out the year. You have to close out the year strong, either with major content, so like a major new raid or something like that, or a major new hero drop alongside of content. And it's like, I just don't think Winter Soldier, meets that criteria. But, like I said, this is where we at with it. This is where we at. I totally agree and believe that's what they were supposed to do. A C-list hero, a B-list hero, then an A-list hero. Yeah, that's something, Miller has suggested a couple times. Miller posting bombs on Twitter. I'm staying out of that, bro. We keep it positive. Let's focus on the positive, because it's Sunday, man. Like I said, I woke up to real sad news, man. Like, Jason David Frank is one of the most positive people I've ever seen, in any capacity. And it's like, to see that, he got into such a dark place is sad. That's genuinely sad. And it's like that it took me a while to kind of just, take that in and incorporate that into the day. It's like that's very unfortunate. Like, that man had a family and all of that stuff, and it's like I'm choosing to be positive. That's what I'm telling you guys. Like, life is short, bro. Like, you never know, what's coming at you, and it's like I'm not choosing to be negative with people. I'm not choosing to fight, people I don't have to fight. I'm not choosing to be negative when I don't have to be negative. And I would much rather spend that time, giving you guys a positive interaction. So, like I said, after this stream wraps up, I'm probably gonna grab something to eat, and then I'll be over on the Discord and the voice chat, playing Avengers with you guys, doing lab, not cloning lab, but the Omega level threat and the raid or whatever, whatever you guys need to get done. I can make some time to do that and just hang out and talk. I'm planning to do a movie. I took it off my desk. I got the Iron Man Marvel Knights movie, and I think Spider-Woman Marvel Knights movie. I got the double feature Blu-ray. I'm planning to watch that with you guys, and then get back around to doing the Ultimate Avengers and all of that at some point. But yeah, it's like I'm keeping it positive over here, bro. Like, any negativity, we gonna bypass that and leave it be. But yeah, it's like we can matter of fact, it's 6. We can wrap up there. I've said my piece on that. I just wanted to, like I said, have a conversation with you guys, get your feedback as always. Captain Marvel, just get her into the game. Just get her into the game, bro. Like, give us something worthwhile at this point. Reward your day one players. That's all I'm saying. The people who showed up, the people who supported, the people who bought skins, the people who did all of this stuff, show up. Hold them down. Hold those people down. Give them something to hope for, or something. Like, bro, give them something. Give them some kind of reward for staying down with you. Just do that. That's ultimately what I'm saying. So if you take nothing else away from this stream, take away that Cass said we need Captain Marvel and Marvel's Avengers at this point. And again, like I said, if I'm redoing 2022, Captain Marvel would have been our only character content for the year, because apparently they need so much time and energy and resources dedicated to that one person. So it's like, that's what we would have did. Have I played Gotham Knights? Yeah, I played Gotham Knights for a while. I got everybody to level 40. I haven't played it in like a week or two. Probably like a little over a week. But I'm looking to get back in tune with it, and I'll definitely be playing Heroic Assault once it drops. I can try to make some time to play that with you guys. I haven't only streamed it once. Maybe I can do a Gotham Knight stream sometime tomorrow. I can figure something out. But, like I said, just wrapping up, guys. I appreciate you guys immensely. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Try to be positive if you can. Choose your battles. Life is short, bro. And you never know what people going through, bro. There's a lot of people going through a lot right now. Health-wise, mental-wise, and all of that stuff. And you never really know what people are dealing with. So it's like, before you go for the neck, go for the throat, think about that. That might be the thing that pushed them over the edge or something like that. Like, just pause and try to be kind if you can. Or, like I said, choose not to engage if you got to. But that's how I operate. I understand the internet is going to internet, so, do your thing. But I appreciate you guys, beyond words, coming out, kicking it with me, and I will catch you guys in the next one.